So how long have you been putting off that thing that you've been saying that you're going to start on? I get it. You go to work, you go to your 9 to 5, and the last thing you want to do when you get home is do more work. The thing is not because you're lazy, it's because you're probably mentally drained. And so you're just too tired at the end of the day to do something else. But the good thing about our mental stamina is that it's kind of like a muscle and we can build it up over time. But it starts with looking at our bodies kind of like it's a battery. We can't run on empty, so we have to make sure that we're guarding that battery throughout the day and not doing things that's going to cause that battery to run down very quickly throughout the day. So certain conversations and things that we can't avoid that we know drain us, try to avoid them at all costs because that's going to save you battery space or mental stamina. Also, make sure that we get quality sleep. I've talked about that in some of my other videos, but the thing about quality sleep is it has less to do about the number of hours, which that's important also, but it's about making sure that you're getting into that what they call REM sleep. And the REM sleep is where we're going to make sure that our bodies are recovering. So that may require us to get on a consistent routine, may require us to have the room at a certain temperature or even turning off our devices at a certain time to make sure that we can get into that rested state so that our bodies and our minds can recover. Also, what are we eating? We have to make sure that we're ingesting the right foods and drinks throughout the day so that our bodies and minds can recover and they can perform at an optimal level. In one of my previous videos, I talked about how our bodies are like high performance sports cars. And you can't continue to put low quality food in or low grade gas into a high performance car and expect it to perform optimally. So make sure that you're eating real food. Make sure that you're drinking enough water so that your body can perform like you want it to when you get off from your 9 to 5. Also, we have to make sure that we're doing what we call mini recharges. And so we're not machines. So we can't expect to be on for 8, 10, 12 hours a day consistently. We have to take mini breaks throughout the day so that our bodies and minds can recharge. And a lot of people like to use what they call the Pomodoro technique. And the Pomodoro technique is very simple. I've talked about in previous videos where you may work for 25 minutes and then take a 5-minute break. And you may do 3 or 4 rounds of that and then take a longer break. And so if you want me to go more into that, leave me a comment below and I'll discuss it again. And also, when we do these little short breaks, that's going to give our minds time to just recover and recharge so that we can be better versions of ourselves and we're not burned out at the end of the workday. And so these are all what we call mental workouts. And what we're doing is building it up over time. And it's kind of like a marathon runner. If you're going to run a marathon, you're probably going to have to practice to do it. Very few people that can go out and just run 26 miles. So for most people, what you're going to have to do is get a routine where you're starting small and you're building upon that. So if your goal is to write a book, you may not want to try to write the entire thing in a week. Start off really small, writing 100 words per day, and then building on that. And so that's the key to building your mental stamina. Start small and build upon that and figuring out what works for you. I hope this type of information helps. And until next time, take care.